Max, the one to watch for the best in entertainment, now has live sports with the Bleacher Report sports add-on.
5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go.
Stream hundreds of select live games from MLB.
That's gonna go!
NBA, NHL, U.S. Soccer, and NCAA Men's March Madness.
We just see what we think we just saw!
And it's all included for a limited time with any Max subscription.
He got him!
After the promo period, add it for $9.99 a month. Base subscription required.
Apple Card is the credit card created by Apple. You earn 3% daily cash back up front when you use it to buy a new iPhone 15, AirPods, or any products at Apple. And you can automatically grow your daily cash at 4.15% annual percentage yield when you open a high-yield savings account. Apply for Apple Card in the Wallet app on iPhone. Apple Card subject to credit approval. Savings is available to Apple Card owners subject to eligibility. Savings accounts by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, member FDIC. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Columbia Sportswear. It's snowing again, and that wind chill is killer. But you're not worried about that because you shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection. It's warmth perfected with tiny gold dots that reflect your body heat inside and protect you from the cold outside. No snow or chilly temps can stop you now. Go out anyway. Shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection now at Columbia.com/infinity.
Serie Chronicles is a Media Chronicles production.
Hi everyone, just a little video postcard from me at the end of Napoli's 3-2 defeat in the Champions League to Real Madrid. I'm here at the Stadio Maradona, where I've just been covering the game for Stan Sports. It was a really enjoyable game to work, a really fun game of football. Obviously not the result that Napoli fans and Serie fans might have been hoping for, but it felt like a game in the end that was decided by some things that somehow feel a bit, I don't know, out of control. Uncontrollable is maybe the wrong way to put it, because of course there's always things you can control. If they close down that opportunity for Valverde first, then you don't have that opportunity for the ball to come back off the bar and hit Merit. But certainly it felt like a game that was decided by incidents to a certain extent. Merit, of course, hugely unlucky on that goal, having the ball come back and hit it, especially after he made, I thought, quite a good adjustment save to push the ball onto the bar in the first place after absolute rocket from Valverde is deflected on the way in. And what a sort of difficult week perhaps he's having. Obviously Napoli been on a nice run, they beat Udinese and Lecce, but against Lecce he did have one unfortunate clanger which got let off by because of the VAR decision against Kristovic and saved his bacon a bit. But after the game, I remember the goalkeeping coach Tarallo was talking about, well, actually Merit is not in a very lucid moment at the moment. He's not seeing things as clearly as he could, and quite unforgiving, saying I wouldn't give him a 6 out of 10 for this game against Lecce, I'd give him a 5. And I feel like this is one of those moments which actually really wasn't his fault, and yet somehow compounds that difficult phase he's going through where things just aren't quite breaking his way. And to be in perhaps I guess a phase when you're not at the highest confidence and have that happen to you is just very unfortunate. Do I think Napoli were unfortunate overall? I think they were victims of their own flaws. I don't think you can say they were unfortunate to lose the game in total, because obviously the first goal is given away by Di Lorenzo. The ball is given away and punished very hard. I mean, Bellingham obviously has to brilliantly jump on that ball, get it to Vinicius. It's a really sharp attacking by Real Madrid, but it's still a mistake by Di Lorenzo, who is one of the players you don't expect to make that mistake. The second goal, not closing down Bellingham, is sort of a communal mistake. I think that belongs to several players, but certainly Ostergaard could be more aggressive in that moment, closing things down. I actually just said this on the Stan broadcast, but I remember Spalletti last season saying Ostergaard is the best header of the ball he's ever seen, ever. Real sort of high praise from someone who's not a novice to football, Spalletti, who's been around. And unfortunately what Spalletti didn't say is, he's the best defender I've ever seen. And I feel mean slightly saying that, because Ostergaard did a few things really well in this game. I thought he was, perhaps not a coincidence that he was the one who had a chance right at the end of the game as well. He was putting himself about. But you just saw in that moment when Bellingham's running at him, that lack of confidence, that lack of experience, that lack of certainty, to step out, because actually he had defenders behind him. He wasn't isolated in that moment, and he did need to be the aggressive one and step out and force the issue of Bellingham and even commit a foul if you have to outside the area, rather than have that have Bellingham get past you and have that chance on goal. So there are mistakes in there, and some of them, even then, you can perhaps put down to circumstance, because look, when you're looking at this Napoli defence, obviously Kim left in the summer, Rahmani is injured, Juan Jesus, who should be, was last season was a third centre-back and should be starting with Rahmani this season, well, he's injured as well. So you're looking at your fourth choice defender from last season and someone who wasn't here, so you're going to be effectively a number 4 and a number 5. Of course there's going to be some weakness in that. Of course you're going to have some difficulty at the centre-back positions, and of course you're even going to have moments like perhaps that Di Lorenzo mistake where you just don't have the communication quite where you want it to be. So I think a lot of what happened in this game is contextual and can be viewed without sort of hyperbole and recognised. I think there are some things that you do look at and say, well, would this have been different with Spalletti? Was there a lack of control in the midfield? It felt like at times in the first half Osimhen was too isolated, which has been a consistent theme this season since Garcia's been there, hoping too much at getting the ball forward to him from far away rather than giving him someone close to link up to is going to work, because he can hold the ball up, because he can do that. I think the distances just don't feel quite right in this team still, and the only time when that really all felt like it was clicking totally was right after that second goal, which I think was I can call it a fortunate penalty in as much as I think it's just complete chance that ball deflects up and hits Nacho on the arm, and I think Nacho is blameless. But it is a penalty in the rules, so I'm not disputing that it's a penalty in the current handball interpretation, but I do think it's a very tough one to swallow if you're Real Madrid, and a lucky one for Napoli. So I don't think Napoli can count themselves too unlucky tonight overall. I think they're probably the right team won, and I think it's a mixed bag for Napoli where you can find some encouragement in it. Kvaratskhelia, I thought after that second goal, really had like a 15-20 minute patch where he looked like his best self, cutting inside and making him want to jump out of his seat. Ostergaard obviously contributing things going forward is great, even if his defending needs to get tighter. I thought there were phases of this game where they really got on top of Real Madrid. Zielinski's penalty, by the way, was a brilliantly hit penalty, just quietly. But there were also there was a vulnerability there that I think needs looking at for sure. Other things to say, just because it's a Champions League game in Naples and I'm here doing this for you, and I know that a lot of our listeners sort of want that connection to Italy. It's just what an incredible atmosphere it was here tonight. Again, very different in like what an atmosphere it was to, for instance, when I was reporting to you from the Champions League semi-finals with the Milan clubs last season. Now, obviously, like a Champions League semi-final is different to a group stage game, so it didn't quite have that energy. But it had a very different energy and a very Naples energy. We had, I'm sorry, I've forgotten his name, but they had a celebrity DJ in before kickoff playing an hour-long set. Someone on Twitter asked me, I hope they played Life is Life, and of course they played Life is Life as tribute to Maradona. But it's such a specific place in the way that it enjoys football, this city. And I think that sort of vibe of, you know, even going to the game is like a night out, is like a party, was really sort of present, and I think is so present on these Champions League nights for Napoli. I think they enjoy the Champions League in a different way, in a way that feels more sort of sincere somehow. You know, I think other clubs you feel like you really get that impression that the Champions League is a big deal because what matters is that we think we can play these games and win them, which of course I'm not saying Napoli weren't trying to win them, the team is all trying to win them, but it still feels here like somehow the opportunity to have night games where you get to have the Real Madrid here and enjoy that in this stadium still feels somehow a bit fresher, a bit less sort of presumptuous, a bit less sort of there's a bit less of an air of, well, yes, we're supposed to be here, and a bit more of a we're thrilled to be here about it. And when those goals went in, when they did get in front, when they did score the equaliser, and you have Decibel Bellini doing his shouting the players' names, the call and response with the crowd. It's a very specific atmosphere, and Naples is such a specific city. I've been lucky to stay in the Spanish Quarter on this trip, and you know, if you get the chance to go to a game in Naples, do it. The fans don't stop singing even when their team is losing. They didn't stop singing even after the full time. The Curva B, there was a section of the ultras that didn't leave for a long time after the game tonight. And it's because this whole city is so uniquely football obsessed, even within Italy. You walk through the streets in the Spanish Quarter and it's all just the banners and the flags and all the Scudetto badges as well everywhere, of course, like hanging from the streets. But it's also people's underwear hanging from the streets. Everyone's sort of washing is out on the lines right next to those banners, and it's also all the nonne out on the street quietly judging you and keeping an eye on what everyone's up to, and it's the murals and it's the bags of black and white bin bags representing Juventus, and it's such a unique experience being here for any game, but I think for a Champions League game against Real Madrid, where again, I don't mean to patronise, and I really hope that's not how it's coming across. I'm worried that it is coming across that way, that talking about them like they're some provincial club, which of course they're not. This is Scudetto winners from last season. This is the team of Diego Maradona, but there's a joy, I think. I think that's what I'm trying to convey. There's a joy in Naples that I think in other places sometimes is not replicated. I think in other places sometimes where there's the joy here, you get something a bit more serious, a bit more earnest, whereas here there's a certain all-in enthusiasm that I'm just not sure. I'm not sure there's anywhere else in football like it, so get here if you can. Get here for a Champions League game if you really can, because that's what is super special. But yeah, I think in the end for this group, I'm not sure the results should matter too much. Obviously Napoli got the really important win away to Braga in the first round. Of course, winning your home games is important in the Champions League, but with Madrid now getting back-to-back games against Braga, who of course won against Union Berlin, I think there's a clear chance now for Napoli to go and win their games against Berlin, or at least they have to aim for at least, I think, minimum 3 clearly, but I think ideally to be looking for at least 4 points from those games. And I think if they can get 4 points from the Berlin games and Madrid do the same against Braga, you're going to see this group fall pretty much the way we expect it to, which is with Napoli and Real Madrid progressing. Famous last words from me, no doubt. Last words certainly from me tonight from the Maradona. I'll speak to you all and hopefully speak to me later this week. I'm still not quite sure what's happened with our recording together. If it doesn't happen this week, we'll happen next week, but we'll try and get something this week. Alright guys, I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Podcast Network.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.